welcome to River City Ransom. Before we get too far into River City Ransom, let's look at the company that made it. Let's look at Technos and see some of the games they did before this, see where this is coming from.
Technos Corporation, originally founded by 3 people who used to work for the Data East Corporation and started their business in their own apartment. Alright, enough history, on to World Cup. Here's the thing, there's 3 games that really show what they've done. Dodgeball, which I won't cover, World Cup, Crash and the Boys, and Technos Samurai. Now, World Cup, you love it because it's violent, you have power shots, and you can actually take out the whole other team before you get too far. You know, you can actually take out the whole other team before halftime, which is something a lot of games didn't have, you know. There weren't a lot of games in sports where you could actually take out other players at the time. What the hell is that? Oop. Sorry about that. Gotta keep the sprites in line, you know. Alright, let's move on to Crash and the Boys Street Challenge. Now, this is about high schools that compete, but it's in the River City Ransom style, so it's pretty good. First one I tried out was Hammer Throw. In most of these games, it's hard to get controls. It's hard to understand how the controls work at first.
Check out the enclosed instruction book.
So your first couple tries, you do really badly, and then when the computer plays, he shoots it, 5, 6, 7 times as far as you do. Eventually, though, I did get the hang of it, and I did figure out that there's stuff in the sky that you can get as bonuses. It's kind of like golf, actually. You kind of want to time your shot and figure out where you're going. Alright, next up is swimming, but this isn't your regular high school swimming. This is more like swim fighting. The idea is to drown your opponent as many times as you can while racing back and forth, and every time you drown him, it slows him down. It's actually a pretty violent game. And nothing's more fun than holding somebody's head underwater and watching their oxygen level just slowly drop. Alright, fight scene. Now this is basically like River City Ransom, except you do have your own little special power moves and crap like that. The thing is, you have to grapple and then get their PP to go down before yours does. But the problem is that a lot of times the computer can beat you at it, and then you have to pick which super move you want to use, and it's hard to do in such a short amount of time, you know. Alright, rooftop jump. Now the idea behind this one is to get across as many roofs as you can as quickly as possible without dying 3 times. The problem is it's hard to grab the little bonus things in the background like the javelin and the little unicycle. But once you get the hang of that, it's actually a pretty fun level. Just try not to fall. Alright, last game before we get to River City Ransom is Technos Samurai, or as I'd like to call it, River City Ransom 2. Because it is basically the same game, except the green guy you see with the kimono, he actually isn't controlled by another player. He's my AI help. And sometimes he's helpful, most of the time he just runs off the screen or does his own stupid little thing. Basically, if somebody's knocked down, he'll punch him, but that's about it. Alright, finally, on to River City Ransom. Now, there's a lot of little hidden things in this game, and if you know where to look, or if you get a copy of it that's been messed with a little bit, you can find some pretty fun little extras. You just need to know where to look. I really should add some dance club music into this. Oh well, next time, right? One thing that's great in this game is the stores, however, because you can go to the restaurant and buy fries, you can buy a Smile, a Sauna, whatever you want. Except the main thing you're going to want to do is go to the bookstores, because that's where you can get the power-ups and items that will actually come in handy as you go. Usually the food will just give you a quick boost. There is one place, though, the secret store called Merlin's Mystery Shop, where he has a bunch of things that look really cool to get. Zeus's Wand, Rodin's Ring, Gold Medal, Isis Scroll. I want to get Excalibur, right? Because I wanted to swing a sword through this fucking game. Unfortunately, when you get the sword, you think you're going to come out and have this huge sword and be able to fight. But the reality is, it just gives you a power-up. So, I mean, that's 100 coins that you're not even going to be able to use anymore. You just wasted on a big sword that you can't use. The power-ups are absolutely necessary, though. As you can see, In the upper right hand corner is the guy with the power-ups. In the bottom left, he's just as is, like I ran there. But the thing is, with the power-ups, I got it done twice as fast, and when you get to the later bosses, you're not going to be able to beat them without a lot of stamina and a lot of these things that I didn't think were very important until I didn't have them. Alright, we're getting up there in time, so let's just do a quick walkthrough of these bosses. First one's Rocco. He's the first one you come to if you just go straight through the game and don't listen to anybody that's telling you what's going on. First one's Rocco. He's the first one you come to if you just go straight through the game and don't listen to anybody that's telling you what's going on. Except for the two hiding by the bridge, but they're not really bosses. Second is the boss on the construction site. He's a little bit harder, but with the right power-ups you can get him down fairly quickly. The thing is, just don't get pinned, because in this game, like most, if you go down, you're not going to be able to fight your way back as easily. There's no real counter moves or anything, you know? So you're just kind of on your own as far as that goes. Third guy was a real pain in the ass to find, the boss for the woods. Nobody really mentioned him, he was just kind of a bonus extra guy. But he's the only one that will actually tell you to go to the high school gates and go fight that guy. And I don't understand, these guys are just standing around, so why do I have to find them? If I know where I'm going, I mean, I know I'm going to that high school, why don't I just run there? Why don't I just kick down those doors? Why do I have to wait for these people to tell me where the next boss is? Because, I mean, there's really only 17, 18 screens, but you're running in between them the whole time, which is a pain in the ass. Finally, you make it into the high school to fight Otis. Otis is one of the harder bosses. He's one of the last ones you can really beat without getting a whole bunch of stamina points and having a good weapon on hand. I did have Javelin. I had everything all pimped out because I really wanted to get to the end of this damn game. But he's one of the few that it was kind of hard to get him, but if you really tried, you could. Finally, the twins. Now, these guys were the hardest ones, especially if there was only one player. Because the thing about the twins is they'll work together and they'll try to get on both sides of you. And once they get you in a corner, there's not much you can do except run away and try to distract one of them. But luckily with the right power-ups, it seems to work. Javelin throw kept one of them away long enough that I could finally beat them. But I mean, I tried to fight these guys about 6-7 times before I actually got the footage I needed. Finally, on to the last boss. Last boss is Simon. Even though your girlfriend's nowhere to be seen, he gives you a long monologue about something. I haven't even bothered read the damn thing. I don't care what he has to say. Basically, it comes down to, I have a pipe, you have a pipe, let's fight. He actually doesn't take long as you're all powered up, which is how you're going to have to be, especially if you want to beat the twins. You know, you gotta get the army boots, gotta get the meat, gotta fight. The only problem with the game is when you die, you lose half your coins. So, I mean, you have to keep coming back and collecting money. A lot of it is just you collecting money and running between screens, even though it is satisfying to hit people in the face with a pipe. And finally, the end credits. Nothing's more satisfying than text credits, especially after the hour and a half you probably put into this game to actually beat it. I mean, it gives you the basic backstory, and she went back to her shopping and blah, you saved Cindy. Good thing you saved her so she could go shopping, right? And finally, the end. Well, that's satisfying.
That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.